Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flannel channel. I'm Philip.
I'm Jacob.
We're once again working on our rat rod project we call Lester. We were standing back looking at this thing last night and going, you know what? Something's bothering me. And the same thing that was bothering me was bothering you.
Yeah. It's too tall.
It's too tall. Like the roof is just too high. And we have a deadline we have to meet, but doggone it, we don't want to be the only guys that show up at this rat rod build off that don't have a chopped roof. We gotta have a chopped roof too. I mean, we don't have steering yet, we don't have brakes yet, and who cares? You know, it's gotta have a chopped roof. So we are gonna get out the tape measure, and we've been watching some other guys, how they do it on YouTube videos. This is our first time. I mean, we've stretched frames, we've shortened frames, we've channeled, we've done body swaps, we've done other things, but we've never done a roof chop before. Now, let me say, there's probably a million different ways to skin a cat. You can do this multiple different ways. Some guys have their favorite ways. We're gonna do some of the favorite ways that we saw other guys do on YouTube, but again, this is our first try. So laugh along with us as we make mistakes. It's gonna be fine, but hey, that's how we learn. It's just by doing stuff. We're together, we're having fun working on our project. This is the way that works for us. So let's go for it. We're gonna make some sparks, and we're gonna make this thing look awesome. Let's do this. So we've been standing back trying to decide how much we can actually chop this roof down, and we're just using a little cardboard and some tape and trying to give Jacob an idea of how much he'll actually be able to see out the windshield and things like that. You know, it's not a lot, but it's gonna be awesome. So I think we have determined that we're gonna do a 6-inch chop in the front, 5-inch in the rear. What that's gonna do is bring the back window down to 3-inch. So this right now is 8, that's gonna be down to 3, which is basically gonna look like a mail slot. I think it's awesome. It's gonna be pretty rad. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. 5 here, 6 here. It's gonna have a little rake to it. We're gonna make a couple lateral cuts because we know we're gonna get some gaps that develop in there. We're gonna fill it in with some sheet metal that we have from other places during this build. And yeah, here goes nothing. This is kind of fun. And it looks really good. I'm really happy with how that's turning out so far. Love it. So I just took some scrap metal that I had laying around, and that happens to fit real nice down inside there, and cut it to stick out about 1.5 inches. And I'll do those on the 2 corners like that. And it also happens to fit here and also in its adjoining piece up front. So that way everything can kind of stay, you know, sort of locked together as we try and start making our roof fit like it should and start clamping things into place and adding some tack welds. Now that we have these pieces in there, I should be able to slide them into this, and that should hopefully keep our roof one kind of solid structure with the gaps. And obviously there's gonna have to be relief cuts that we make in here because things need to expand and move a little bit, but rigidity is what we're after. So.
That has the look we're looking for. Oh, I dig that so much. Definitely what that truck needed, for sure. What's that saying the old timers would talk about? Dollar bill for a back window? Yeah, I'd say we got it. We're at the stage of the game now where I have decided I like the fitment at each of the corners of the windows. And so I'm gonna start by welding at my window edges and working my way around. You can see I'm gonna have to make some relief cuts and get everything to start to fit together better. I'm actually gonna leave this area for very last, but I do wanna try and make sure that my roof line stays level there. It's also a chance to kind of pound out a few dents that were up in the roof, get them a little bit better, you know, get some gaps like I want to and things like that. But yeah, I'm really happy with it so far. Those pieces that I fit up in there seem to really add a lot. And I'm happy that I had something that just happened to be laying around that fits. That's awesome. So yeah, time to work a few more dents out and start welding. Love it. Yeah, this is going great. I'm really happy with how this is working. I put some stress relieving cuts in there and just kind of bringing everything in a little bit. It's because the top is a little bit small. The body's just a little bit wide. And so some guys would cut the roof and expand the roof. I will do that also if I need to, but I'm just kind of changing things in here a little bit. Got some weld in there. Yeah, cut, weld, and yeah, I'm digging it. These little babies are awesome. Pick those up off Amazon and just kind of help line everything up for you. Filling some gaps. Good stuff. Tuesday evening, and I'm excited because I want to work on the rat rod some more. So gonna hook up the welder and put in a podcast. Just keep blasting away, stitching together my steel. So yeah, let's do this. I'm actually going to use a piece that we saved that would have originally gone right here, and I'm going to cut out a section so there's a drip rail, there's a cross section there, and I'm really only going to use the outside and just put it in there like that. So if we Sharpie something close, it'll take a few tries to trim it, but yeah. Masking tape and a Sharpie, and then now I can cut that out, stick it onto my piece, and make my cut. A little something like that. And yeah, fiddling with it, trying it to get it to fit the way you want. Pretty close. And I think if I get a couple clamps on there, I can start tacking that into place and get my drip rail to line up pretty good. Yeah, other side's same spot. Get a clamp on there, stitch it together. One of my favorite things about working on this project is that we're able to use steel that came from other places on the cab itself, and you kind of have to do that when you're doing a chop anyway, or you have to have a donor vehicle for, you know, pieces of your roof skin and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do lap weld style so that it's actually overlapping on the inside, because I'm not actually going for like perfectly level and smooth. We're not going to be filling this, we're not painting it and stuff like that. So this piece itself actually happens to be this piece from the cab in the center, and these pieces that already have the curve in them used to be right here on the cab, and we're just repurposing them into the roof. So I think that's pretty awesome. It's time to maybe make a couple more relief cuts here. I'll trim this piece for size there, get everything kind of pushed up and clamped where I want it to be,
and then we start stitching that piece together. But I'm loving how it's turning out so far. It's awesome.
Thursday evening now. Last night I ran out of gas in my welder, so I had to quit a little bit earlier than I wanted to. But tonight I finished stitching up the rest of my roof and sprayed a little bit of instant rust on there to begin the process of starting to get the match as best I can. We're not going for perfection, but I want to get that metal a little bit more rusty so it fits in. What I'm working on right now is the upper door sill, and I know that I need to extend that out as well. So I've made a mark in the center, and I'm gonna add about 1 3/8 worth of material so I can tack weld these pieces in and get everything to start fitting together like we want to. Then I can cut my welds off my doors and swing that open, and then I can work on my inner door sills. So it's all connected, but I have a little bit of a plan going, and so far, so good. Here we are. It is Saturday morning, and I have my pieces cut now in preparation to extend those doors out. And I was looking at the cross section of these doors last night when it was late, and I know that I need to actually separate them just a little bit right down the middle so that I can actually narrow them. They're a little bit too wide when you compare them. So let me see if I can hold this so that you can kind of see what I was seeing. There, if that lines up good, then it's too long that way. So now you see kind of what I'm talking about. I need to just cut that down the center and squish it a little bit and put these pieces back together. So that's the next step. Here we go. I love it. It's good to see that door back together. And I'm not gonna give you a close-up of my welds because I'm not proud of them, but you know, they're they're okay. And that's why God gave us grinders, so we can hide ugly welds and fix our boo-boos. But yeah, that's an awesome profile. I really dig that a lot. And I'm gonna go in there after doing some grinding, and I'm gonna spray that instant rust on there and hopefully make it all start looking like it belongs. Yeah.
So there you go. I want to remember to tell you real quick, I'm not a body guy. I'm not a professional welder. I'm a mechanic by trade, so I'm much more comfortable with a scan tool and wrenches than I am trying to get panels perfectly straight and, you know, getting fitment and grinding and stuff like that. It's not my thing. But I'm happy with how this is turning out. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. We're making mistakes as we go. The boys and I are learning. This is our first attempt at a chop. I've always wanted to do it, and it's a blast. It's a lot of fun. Some of you might be wondering, where is Jacob going to sit in this thing when he's driving it? We're actually putting the seat way down onto the floor between the frame rails. It's going to be a single seater. We tested it out. He seems to have enough room, you know, above his head for the roof, and that's why we chose what we did for cutting the floor out, cutting the roof down. Yeah, he's willing to sacrifice some creature comforts on the interior for the cool look that we wanted. So you might also be wondering how this thing is going to be licensed and titled. We're keeping it all Isuzu, so engine, transmission, frame, the VIN number, the title, the license plates, it's all Isuzu. It's going to stay that way even though we have this old Ford cab on it, it's still Isuzu. So maybe that answers a couple of questions you guys might have, but I have a lot more to do. We need to finish plumbing our brakes. We need to hook up the steering. We need lights. There's a lot of steps to go yet before we're ready for next month, and I need to get to work. So that's why this episode needs to end here so I can get to edit so that you can see the progress that we've been making so far. Thank you to each one of you that have been interacting with the videos here on YouTube. I don't see the comment section at all. I don't spend any time there. So if you're commenting, I appreciate it, but I don't see it. If you want to interact with me directly, I'll be over at Instagram. It's at Flannel_Philip. We can chat there. Thank you for sharing, subscribing, liking, doing all the things to help the channel. You guys know what to do. You are awesome, and I truly appreciate each one of you. I'll see you soon. Peace and grace.